We, the Arcturians, see that humans are beginning to open up their minds a bit more. Of course, there's many that are not anywhere near thinking that, is it a possibility that there are higher dimensional beings that live in outer space? They are having to accept things that most of the population wouldn't be able to accept. But there are more and more people that have had real experiences. And just like if you had 10 friends, all of those friends, they'd all be friends, but they'd be different because they're different friends. And that's what it's like with the Galactics. There's all different Galactics, but they're different friends. They have different ideas and thoughts, just like we have different ideas and thoughts.
When I get a hit on the January energies, there's this undertone of mystery that comes in. And this is something that I think can mean a lot of different things for different people. But anytime that feeling of mystery comes in, it challenges our beliefs on what we think we know fully, whether it's ourselves or whether it's the world that we live in, and to maybe take another look. There's something that is ready to be uncovered that we haven't looked at before.
Yes. To anybody who is ready to allow themselves to just open up to this, what is this? When we move into the fourth dimension, what happens is that we start activating more of our brain, because there is something that is happening here. We are being prepared to move beyond our third dimensional, straight up human person. We're on the springboard, and that springboard goes up and down and up and down and up and down. And eventually you have to jump in the water. And it has a lot to do about the frequency that you feed your brain. So if you're feeding your brain, oh my God, this is horrible, this is terrible, what am I going to do? Then that's what you're going to get, because energy out is energy back. I mean, it seems so easy, but it's not easy, because it's easier to be a victim. You know, why did this happen to me? Why didn't I get this? Why don't I get that? That's a way of thinking that leaves you empty, because it's a question. And there's nothing wrong with questions. Questions are great. But you have to hold on inside and listen to the answer. And that's what's happening with a lot of us. A lot of the people that are awakening or fully awake. Well, I don't know if there's such a thing as fully awake, because as soon as you get to that fully awake, then you get another fully awake. So I don't know if there's an end to that. But having that feeling that you are in charge of yourself, there's a higher something higher, something bigger. And we've had lots of incarnations in the third dimension, most of us, especially people that are awake to the higher dimensions. They are able to be awake to the higher dimensions because in their 3D life, their normal 3D life, they had a lot of curiosity and a lot of seeking, a lot of wanting to know. We're talking about energy fields. And as the energy fields come in, they have different rates, different frequencies. Like if you're driving in a car, you could go slow. That's one frequency. Or you could go medium. That's another. You could really go fast. That's a whole another one. So you're moving deeper and deeper and wider around your brain power. And now, in order to go on to those next phases, we have to really start thinking about grounding ourselves. When you're moving into the higher fourth and the fifth, this is when you're starting to have communications with the higher dimensional beings. And there are higher dimensional beings, and they do communicate with us, and they are teaching us a lot now. How have you had that experience of being taught by the Galactics, Danny?
I've noticed that the number one thing that they help me with is not being so up in my head. Don't worry too much about, oh, I'm doing this wrong, or, you know, I have to prove myself, or I have to be perfect. They really are emphasizing dropping that perfectionistic idea in our minds and being able to connect first with the heart. So if we can imagine, like, we're talking with someone, it's a family member we haven't seen in a long time, or friends that we haven't seen in a long time, that connection alone is strong enough for the communication to happen. So if we can get it on a heart level, it activates that other part of the brain. So we're not so focused on getting it right, hearing the words. It's a flow, not a force.
Yes. It's the feeling, the allowing. There's a lot of allowing, right, Danny? That you have to allow it. No, you're not crazy. I remember at the very beginning when the Arcturians talked to me, I thought, okay, I'm crazy. But see, that's just the beginning. So we all go through the, okay, that's weird. Okay, good. Weird is good. I like weird. You know, first allowing that higher frequency to come in the chakra at the top of your head. Because we have all these chakras, which are little doorways, that we can open up the doorway and invite what that doorway has. The crown chakra. It's the opening of the highest frequency of light. The third eye is where your imagination goes boing, just opens up. And then the throat chakra, that's what do you say? What comes out from you? And then there's the fourth chakra, that's the heart. Fourth chakra is the heart chakra. Just take a moment and put your hand on top of your hand, on top of your heart, and keep your spinal cord kind of straight up and down, and just put it right on your heart. It feels important because our heart is the core of love. Our heart is the core of love, and love is the key to happiness. Danny, you want to do the third chakra? I'll give it to you.
So the third chakra is our solar plexus. That is our inner sun, if you will, and it represents our willpower, our confidence. So usually if you feel like a intuitive hit on someone you shouldn't be around, or an uncomfortable situation that maybe has some different layers to it, sometimes you feel that like sinking feeling in your stomach. So our solar plexus communicates a lot with us, and we're not always aware of it.
Yes. Now the second chakra, you're beginning to feel these different energy fields. And then It's a time of making some decisions. Do I want to live that energy field? Do I want to live in this other energy field? What does this energy field do? As we realize that we have all of this energy going on with us, we want to ground it, right? We don't want to just floating around. So we want to go into that first chakra. The first chakra has a lot to do with responsibility. If you want something to grow, you have to ground it. You have to plant it. And you have to water it, and you have to take care of it. And those are the things a lot of times we forget to give ourselves. We, the Arcturians, would suggest you set aside a certain time at a certain place, and you go to that certain place at that certain time on a regular basis. And what you will do is that you will build an energy field. And that energy field will tell you things that you weren't able to get. If you listen, you will hear. If you listen, you will hear. And the most difficult thing for many humans is that they don't want to be that different from other people. But we, the Arcturians, who are perceiving the planet from above the planet, from our starships, there are a lot of humans, more and more every day, that are waking up to the fact that there is life on other planets besides Earth. We, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Antareans, the Venusians, we are the ones that are the constant visitors to Earth. And there is now, and has been for quite a while, constant visitors. And when the third dimensional humans wake up, they will heal Gaia. And Gaia needs to be healed. Drastically needs to be healed. And so we, the Arcturians, say to all of you, thank you. Thank you for taking good care of Gaia. Because any of you that would be interested in this type of conversation is a human being that loves the planet and that wants to keep the planet safe and to keep all of the planet's wonderful adventures, keep them all alive. And blessings. We, the Arcturians, thank each and every one of you who care for Gaia, love Gaia, think about Gaia, support Gaia. Blessings.